So we just hit 2,000 subscribers. That's crazy, because on Friday I was hanging out with my friends after work, and I went from 30 subscribers to 70 subscribers in a night, and I thought that was insane that I went from 30 to 70 in one day. I made a joke. I said, YouTube channel is really blowing up, guys. I got 40 subscribers today. And then the next day, I went from 70 to 120, and then the next day I went from 120 to 330, and then the next day I went from 330 to 500, and then the next day I went from 500 to 1,000, and then now I went from 1,000 to 2,000 in one day. I hit 1,000 at like 4 o'clock yesterday, and I hit 2,000 before 4 o'clock today. Doubled the channel in one day. The amount of growth that I had throughout a couple of months, because I've had this YouTube channel for 2 years. I just haven't been using it. I've only been using it to watch videos. I've just been thinking. I've been thinking about having a YouTube channel and what I'm going to do when I finally start it. And I made those camper videos. You know, if you scroll back and you look at my first 3 videos, they're about my homemade camper that I built. I think they're pretty good videos. If you guys like the kind of stuff that I'm doing now, those aren't really that different from what I'm doing now. It's just not as interesting as a thing, you know, a homemade camper versus investment property, renovation, house, real estate. But you know, those didn't do anything. I was just testing the waters. You know, I was getting myself used to posting and editing videos, recording long videos, getting myself used to making myself take the time to stop and record while I'm working on something. And they did about how I expected. You know, 200 views, hardly any comments. I gained like 10 subscribers, and that's what kind of put me in the mindset that was about the rate that the channel was going to grow. I was thinking I'll have a couple of months where I'm posting videos that are getting 100 views, and I'll gain about 10 subscribers a month, and we'll slowly work our way there, and eventually I'll get better, and I'll figure out how to be more interesting, and people will start to, you know, slowly catch on. Maybe. I was just thinking, I was dreaming that someday I could have a successful YouTube channel in like 2 years. I never thought, actually, I'm not calling this channel successful yet, but I never thought I would be at 2,000 subscribers a couple of months in. Technically, honestly, I'm only like 2 weeks in, because I didn't really start, honestly, I still wasn't even really taking the channel seriously whenever this started to take off a couple of days ago. I'm still in the mindset that I'm in like the preliminary stages, and I'm in the learning stages still, but I thought I would be in the 10 to 20 subscribers a week or a month phase forever, not hardly getting any views, fighting the algorithm. It's just been working so far, and it's because of everybody that's commenting and sharing and liking and being so supportive. I've been loving, it's been so much fun every time I pull my phone out and refresh it and see that my subscribers have gone up, 20 or 70, depending on how long the time has been. You know, I go to bed, the past 2 nights I've gone to bed and woken up and had 200 new subscribers in the morning. It's so surprising to me that many people are interested and like this type of content. And the comments that I've been getting are so cool. I've been getting people all over the world. I've had people from Sweden and Australia and the United Kingdom commenting, and I've got local people. I'm already getting people from in town that are finding the channel, and I'm getting cool stories from people, you know, guys telling me that they did the same thing when they were my age, or a couple of years ago they renovated a couple of houses. They've renovated a ton of houses, and they've got advice. I'm learning so much from these comments. This is going to be such a helpful tool throughout the process of remodeling this house. It's going to change everything. Just in the advice I'm going to be able to get from people. Being able to show people a problem and get responses from people that have been there is, I don't know what else to say. It's going to be an irreplaceable, you know, it's going to be a tool you can't put a price on, you know? I'm still loving all the comments. I'm doing my best to reply to everything that I can. I'm constantly all day checking my haven't responded yet tab in my comment section to make sure that I'm getting responses out to everybody, because I want to interact. I want to get conversations going with everyone and hear the stories and get feedback so that I can improve. And interesting thing that I've been getting, that I'm really glad that I'm getting, is people requesting videos. And so for this 2,000 subscriber special, one of the main ones that I've been getting is people asking me to kind of introduce myself, which was something I never really thought about, but I guess that's true. I never really haven't really introduced myself at all, so I guess it makes sense that no one really knows who I am. So I guess where I'll start is, my name is Dalton. There's a couple of people have asked, you know, what my name is. I'm 25, and I've been wanting to do something like this my entire life. I learned from my grandpa. My grandpa built the last 2 houses he lived in. He built one himself and sold it and moved up here, and then my parents moved up here after they moved up here, and then he built the house he currently lives in. It's 2-story house he built in like 1994, I think. I don't know how long it took him to build, but he did it debt free, paid cash for the land, and then he lived in a camper while he paid cash flowed the materials, and he built it. Set himself up with no mortgage payment for the rest of his retirement. And I always thought that was so cool my entire life that he did that. And it made me want to do something similar. It showed me that it's possible to do something like that. And then my dad has always been self-employed my entire life, or since before I was born. When him and my mom moved up here, they started a glass company. And he was solo for a long time, just doing projects by himself. So I grew up always talking about the stuff that he would do by himself, and I saw him, and I grew up watching him work, 12 and 16-hour days, 5 days a week, and then half a day on Saturday or full days on Saturdays. He's always worked 6-day work weeks. He's always worked 12 to 16-hour days. And so I saw that, and I saw where it got him, and I was just exposed to hard work my entire life, and it just stuck with me that you can do that and get yourself ahead. You can work really hard on something, or you can work really hard at something, and you can make enough money to get yourself ahead, and you can build stuff yourself and not have to pay someone else the premium price for it. So that's kind of the background on how I became the kind of person that's not afraid to take on a project like this. And then when I was 13, I wanted to buy a fishing pole. I got really into fishing when I was in middle school, and I wanted to buy a new fishing pole. And I had no money, of course, because I know I'd make money. And my dad had gotten a contract to fix leaks at a big business park. And it was like a job that was going to take like over a year to do. And he offered me to come in, and he said, you can do the little work and keep the guys focused on the stuff that's important, and you can just do the run around, cleaning stuff, picking stuff up, handing the guys stuff. I did that for a whole summer when I was 13, and that exposed me to life in the trades. It's when I started seeing these buildings that were being worked on, and I watched the sheetrockers doing their stuff, and I watched the framers repairing the framing from the leaks, and I saw electricians, I got exposed to every type of trade, and I started watching all of them working, and I started learning how buildings go together when I was only 13. And then I went back to school, and I was wishing I was working instead of at school that entire school year. And as soon as I got out of school, I went right back to it. And then eventually I was old enough I could start going on the real job sites, and I could just start doing new installs, and I started really seeing how buildings went together, because I saw the process of the sequence of operations. And then when I got into high school, I started taking all the trade classes that I could. So I took introductory to construction systems, and then I took structural building systems. I did 2 years of that, and that's where I learned framing and foundation. I learned about they taught us the entire process of the house building, process from start to finish. And we built sheds, and we finished up 2 houses that the school built throughout a couple of years. Classes before me had built these houses in those classes, and by the time my senior year, or by the time we were to my senior year, we were finishing up those houses. So I worked in those 2 portable houses, finishing them, and then I took an electrical class as well. And then I graduated and I went straight into work full time, and I've been there full time ever since. And so my current job title with our company is commercial job foreman. So I've been working on commercial projects for a long time. It's I may have missed that. It's a glazing company is what we do. So commercial storefronts, curtain wall systems, shower doors, mirrors is what I've been doing for a long time. And it's precision work, everything that we do. So I've learned attention to detail through this trade. Like I said, I've been in it since I was 13, and I've been full-time since 2017. And I've been on a lot of jobs, I've been on a lot of remodels, and I've seen the building process a lot. I've worked alongside a lot of other trades, I've talked to a lot of other trades, I've been in the meetings with other trades, and I've listened to, what causes problems for everybody, what works for everybody. I've listened to the process, and I've watched the process so much. I've always been interested in the entire construction project process. So I've acquired a lot of tools, and I've acquired a lot of knowledge about stuff like this, and I've always wanted to do something like this. And it's still a dream of mine to build a house from start to finish, which is kind of a reason why it's interesting to me, or it's exciting to me, that I discovered that I have all that property up there, and there's so many people commenting saying I need to build a new house up there. And it's this has turned into an opportunity to potentially do both of the things that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to renovate an old house, and I've always wanted to build a new house. And this may be my opportunity to do both on the same property. I might be able to renovate this place and get it livable, and then I would probably try to work on getting the mortgage paid off on this place before I did something like that, and then start on a new house build up there on the top of the hill. Potentially build one up there, maybe split the lots. I don't know. I'm not the type of person to say confidently what I plan to do in the future. I'm always, you'll notice, it's going to be a common theme across my channel. It's already been a common theme, and I can tell people are taking it as me not being confident in myself and my plan. That's not what it is. It's me not wanting to go back on my word. I don't want to say that I'm going to do something, and then life happens and something changes in a couple of months, or I learn something in a couple of months, and then plans got to change. And then I don't want everyone to have heard me say that I'm definitely planning on, I don't, for example, the house foundation, for example, I completely plan to do a foundation replacement on the house. As of right now, that's the plan. But I don't want to say I'm going to replace the foundation on this house, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I could end up discovering. I don't know what, I don't know. So I just don't want to confidently say something like that. And because I feel like I'm lying. It would make me feel like I'm lying whenever I discover that I can't for some reason. Something comes up and it's not going to work like I thought it was going to. And then I would feel like I lied to everybody. So I just... You'll notice I say stuff like that. Like I say I hope that I can replace the foundation on the house, or I plan to, I think that I may replace the foundation. I say words like that. It's because I don't want to feel like I'm lying to everybody. So anyway, kind of back to who I am. I've got a lot of construction experience. The only job I've ever worked in besides lawn care. Me and my dad started a lawn care company together over 10 years ago now. And we had a lawn care company together. It was pretty successful. We only did it for 2 summers, and then we just decided, there was more money focusing on the glass company than that lawn care business. But that was another thing that showed me that hard work pays off, because it was hard work. We were making money doing it. Had a lot of exposure to the construction process, and I've always been interested in it, so I've always been researching it. If any of you guys have ever watched the Larry Hahn house building series, I love that series. I've watched through it at least 10 times. I love watching Larry Hahn work, and I've learned a lot about the entire system of a house through that. So back to somewhat about me. I don't want to go into like super specific details or anything. My name is Dalton, and my dad is self-employed. My grandpa built his own house, and that's kind of the stuff that's been like the big key things that like kind of molded me into who I am, to learn about not being afraid of hard work, and it taught me that you can build your own things and save a lot of money doing it, and put yourself in a really good financial position. But besides that, I'm a family of 7. Parents are still together. All my grandparents are still alive. My parents, and then 5 kids. I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the middle child. I'm 25. My dad's self-employed. He always has been. I work for his company. I always have. I always plan to. I'm not the typical son of the owner. I know that there's a bad stereotype around that. I hate telling people that I'm the son of the owner of the company because of the stereotype that follows it. Because I know, because a lot of people will hear that and then they just close themselves off to actually learning about me or anything else. They just immediately assume I'm the kid that does no work and I get paid way too much and I've had everything handed to me. That's not the way that my dad has set it up for me at all, and it's just not the way that's not the way that I am. And the people that actually get to know me discover that. But let's put that out there. I am the son of the owner of the company. If anything, it's made me work a lot harder because I know I have to work really hard for the employees to not think that I'm getting everything handed to me. I think most of the guys do get that. So I guess that's probably about all that I'm going to say about my personal life. Just don't feel comfortable putting a whole lot of information out there on the internet. So the point I want to get to is that I've always wanted to do something like this ever since I was a really little kid. My dream was always build my own house. I always thought I'd grow up, buy property, and build a house on it and either sell it or live there for a long time, or that developed. And I slowly kind of realized how hard that actually is, not the work, but just the process of trying to find land that's buildable and already has utilities on it. And I discovered how hard the process of adding utilities to land is. I almost did it with a property that would have been a mistake. And then I almost bought a house before this one that would have been a big mistake. If you guys think that if those of you that think this house was a mistake, you should have seen what I almost did about a year ago. That house would have been a nightmare, and I would have been in the dungeon trying to get out from under that one. So I don't want to go into big details about that one unless you guys want me to. If you guys want me to tell the story of the property I almost bought and the house that I almost bought before, let me know because it's a story. But so I kind of learned from that house what to look for because I realized the mistake I almost made when I got out of it, and wised up a little bit, started doing a lot of research, started learning a lot about my financial situation, what financial situation I should be in before I buy a house. And I just spent a couple of months just really piling up money. I worked as much overtime as I could. I saved everything. I haven't taken a vacation in 4 years. I just cash my vacations out as soon as I get them because I've been adding it to the savings. And I just built up my money until I was in a financial position where I felt like I could handle putting a big down payment down on a property like this and then still have plenty of money in the bank to handle renovations. And that's what I did, and that's what happened with this property. So I really wasn't like shopping hard when I found this place, because I still have a lot of months left on my lease in my apartment, and I can't break it. I've already talked to my leasing office. I have to live there till my lease is up. And but I found this place and it just looked like exactly what I've always looked for. It's a little house that needs work, but it's not. I almost said it's not falling down. It's not technically falling down, even though it looks like it. And I guess it slowly is. It's slowly falling down. But it's not about to collapse, and all the utilities work. So that's what I've always looked for. Stuff that just needs, not a foundation replacement. That's not what I've always looked for, but for the most part, it's exactly what I've always looked for. And it was a good price, I thought. I've noticed from the comments, a lot of people think it was not a good price, but compared to houses in the area, it's a pretty good price that I got. I got that whole field up there. I got, all the property. It's not a long commute to my work, less than 30-minute drive to where I work. And it's a house that I could move into and be living in right now. I'd be having to take baths instead of shower because the shower head doesn't work. But besides that, I could be living in this house right now. I'm just not yet because I still have my apartment. So that's kind of the short story of how I got into this house. It's really easy for me to get off on a rambling rant. This is my second attempt at recording this video because the other one ended up being 40. I was at 40 minutes and still was a long way from finishing, and it was going nowhere. It was just a rambling session. Let's see. So that's, like I said, that's the story of how I got the property. And I guess a couple, the story of how I started the YouTube channel is the Marching Moto name. Is my original plan with this YouTube channel was to do motorcycle content. So dirt bikes and camping is a huge hobby of mine. That's why I started off with the camping content, or the camper content with this, because it's my top two hobbies. I love riding dirt bikes and I love camping. So I was going to make dirt bike and camping videos with this channel. It was my original plan. But then the house purchase just came up, and I was just like, man, people are going to be interested to see this. Everyone I talked to about it was just like, man, keep us updated. I want to hear how that all turns out. That sounds cool. So I started making some videos on it, and it looks like this is probably the direction the channel is going to go. I'm still planning on doing some dirt bike and camping content as well, because I think that a lot of my audience would be interested in that kind of stuff. Just, exploring around the woods. I don't do extreme riding at all. I just use my dirt bike to get around, see cool places in the woods. So that's the Marching Moto thing. You notice my profile picture and cover photos, me on my dirt bike. It's main hobby, been my hobby for years. I just haven't had much time to ride recently ever since I bought the house. I tried to put all my free time into this place until I got it in a little bit of a better position. You guys should check out those camper videos if you haven't looked at them yet, because I think that they are pretty interesting. And I think that little camper that I built is pretty interesting. And I'm going to be doing more work on that thing later in the summer, before this next camping season. I want to do another overhaul on it. Hopefully I've got this place in a little bit better shape by then, and I got some time and money to put into that. Besides that, I feel like I kind of covered the bases pretty well there. I hope. I just pressed record and sat down, so I didn't have much of a plan here. I just wanted to introduce myself like everyone has been requesting. I feel like I owed that to you guys, and I wanted to say a humongous thank you for 2,000 subscribers in such a short amount of time. And thank everyone so much for all their comments. I love reading all of them constantly. I'm just nonstop refreshing them and looking at the new ones and replying as quick as I can, because I appreciate it so much. I love hearing the old stories. I love hearing the advice. I don't really love the hateful comments, but I'm not getting that many of them. But they're so outnumbered by the positive, supportive ones. I can't believe how much so many of you guys like this stuff. Because I honestly thought I was just a nerd for being so into construction work and renovations. But it's turned out to be really interesting for a lot of you guys. The retaining wall stuff I've been putting out, it's why I don't have footage of me digging the trench and stuff. I was just like, no one cares to see any of this, there's no point in me wasting my time recording it. But people are really liking the retaining wall content. I can't believe it. So thanks everyone for your interest and your support. It continues to blow me away. I don't know if I'm gonna get used to it. I don't know if eventually it's not gonna be that special to me, but right now it is. It's so surprising, and it's special to me that everyone actually cares to see that stuff. Maybe it's trauma from my TikTok background, but I still can't believe that people like me, because my TikTok audience hates me. That was kind of my thing with TikTok, is I was putting out videos that I knew would I wasn't trying to aggravate people on purpose. I was trying to put out funny videos. But that's just the way tradesmen are. Everyone thinks they're better than everyone else. Or not every tradesman, but the tradesmen on TikTok at least, they kind of just have that mentality. And so I kind of tried to play into that a little bit, and it did okay, but eventually putting work into putting out videos, and then all the comments are just hateful, and everyone's just calling me an idiot. This guy has no idea what he's doing, and having an entire following of people that just disliked me just pushed me away from the content creation stuff that I really like doing. And so that made me, I guess that's part of my mentality, and part of why I have such a hard time believing that people are actually into this stuff, is because I did TikTok for a couple of years, and I never had an audience that respected me, and that's why I'm so blown away every time I get these extremely nice positive comments. So I hope you guys keep it up. I hope nobody loses interest. I hope you guys keep talking to me in the comments, and I hope everyone sticks around for what I have to come, because I'm gonna be keeping it as entertaining as I can. I got a lot of ideas. I'm getting a lot of ideas from the comments. I really appreciate that. I need to make a list of video ideas that everyone's given me, because I'm getting a lot of very good ideas from people. And I think we're building a community of we're building a really good community with this. I really like my following so far. I'm so happy with the way that this is turning out, and I appreciate everything so much from all of you guys. I've heard YouTubers say that so much, and I can't believe that I'm the one saying it now, but it really shows you what they've always been feeling when they say that, because it's like I keep saying, it's just not what I expected. So thanks everyone. Let me know what you want to see next. I've got more videos coming out this week. I've got several that I pre-recorded this weekend, and I'm going to release this one as my 2,000 subscriber special. I hope you guys understand my gratitude.